Hey everyone, this is Stefan from ProjectLifeMastery.com, and I am live right now on YouTube. And today I want to share with you guys how to learn anything fast. And by the way, there's an airplane going by if you heard that in the background. This is live right now, so nothing's edited whatsoever. But listen, I know many of you guys are joining in right now. Before I go into what I want to share with you, if you're joining in live right now, I'd love it if you could leave a message here in the live chat. Let me know your name and where you're joining in from. Happy to give you guys a little bit of a shout out. And once today is not going to be too long of a live stream. I want to kind of teach you something that I think could have benefit to your life, which is how to learn anything fast. But I also want to answer your questions. I did a live stream the other day, and I took on some of your guys' questions, and I really enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys received a lot of benefit from that. But there was a lot of questions, more than I had time to answer, and I'm sure today there's also going to be a ton of questions as well. But I'll do the best that I can to serve you guys and be able to support you with your life. And by the way, if you have questions for me, you can post them in the chat. This is on my phone right now, and just to give you guys a little bit of a heads up, there could be a lot of chat messages that come in, and I can only kind of see them at a certain pace. So I'll try to pick whatever questions that I see that grab my attention, but also try to ask me questions that can benefit everybody. Those are the ones that I love to answer, the ones that are more broad, the ones that I think can benefit the most amount of people here, because I want to try to leverage the questions here so that many people can benefit from it, okay? So I see people that are joining in, so let me just kind of pull up who's joining in right now. We've got someone here from Cyprus, Europe. Welcome. We got Mary from Alabama. We've got Brian from Arizona. We got Marco from Los Angeles. We got Lucid from Reno, Nevada. Andrea from Serbia, Evie from Greece, we got Simon from Finland, we got Nis from Morocco, Javon from Jamaica, Adam from Ireland, Jamie from Boston, good to see you, Jamie, Andrew from Oklahoma, very cool. We got people joining in from all over the world, and I'm coming to you guys right now from Venice in Los Angeles, California. Cool, so let me share with you guys how to learn anything fast. There's actually a lot that I can share with you guys with this, but I just yesterday did a whole in-depth training on this with 12 different strategies on how to learn anything fast inside my Life Mastery Accelerator, and it took about an hour and a half. So I'm not gonna go into all that here today, but I wanna share with you guys the FAST learning method as an acronym, okay? So FAST, and by the way, a great person to study. I can give you guys some resources if you want to learn how to learn better, because I know many of you that are watching this right now, you're into improving yourself, learning, building a business, etc. And I think that's great. That's amazing. And I love that. You and I are kindred spirits, because I'm the same way. I'm trying to improve myself to be the best that I can be. And I've done it, since I was 17 years old. I'm gonna continue doing that every single day for the rest of my life so that I can actualize my potential as a human being. And the crazy thing is, though, that if you're going to invest this time to learn, to read books, to watch YouTube videos, to go through courses and trainings and seminars and coaches and all the things that hopefully you're doing to improve yourself to be the best you can be, then does it not make sense that we learn how to learn better? That we can ensure that we can retain more of the information that we're consuming? Because we live in the information age. We're drowning in information. And unfortunately, a lot of the people that I see that are consuming information, they don't know how to get the most out of it. They're consuming information, it's going through one ear and it's going out the other. They're learning all this great stuff that has the potential to change their life, but if you don't remember any of it, and most importantly, if you don't actually apply any of it and do something with it, it's not going to have that much value for you. So I want to make sure, and it's worth investing in learning how to learn, learning how to improve yourself. And there's many different resources out there. I've been studying learning and memory for the last 2 months more in a deeper level, but I've been studying many years before that when I first got into self-development. There's actually a great book right now that I'm reading, which is a classic. It's called How to Read. Okay, How to Read. I think it was a book that was written in the 1950s, and The updated version I'm reading now, I think, is from the 1970s, but it shares with you different strategies on how to actually read books, because no book is equal, no information is equal either, and you have to use different strategies to consume books differently based on the type of book that it is or what you want to get from it. So that's a great resource for you guys. Another one on memory is called Moonwalking with Einstein. I've been learning different techniques from that, which are great for improving your memory and learning. Jim Quick is kind of like the go-to guy online as well, that has a lot of great content and courses on it as well. And I actually hope to be interviewing him soon here in Los Angeles. But that's just a few resources for you, as well as on my monthly goals report, I went through some books and resources that you guys could benefit from as well. Now let's just dive into it. I think one of the most important things that you should consider and you should ask yourself before you learn anything, whether you pick up that next book, before you go through that course or that training or that podcast or YouTube video, is ask yourself the question. Ask yourself, why do I want to learn this? Okay, why do I want to learn this? What's my purpose for it? Because oftentimes what you get from something and how motivated you are is going to be related to your purpose and your why. Let me give you guys a good example of this. When I was in high school, I was a horrible student. I was always a C minus student. I didn't really, I put in effort to study and do some homework, from time to time, but it was not consistent. I skipped a lot of school. Many times I just did not even, do the homework or prepare for the test. And as a result, I didn't get good grades and I barely graduated. And part of the reason for that, when I look back, because I love to learn now, I love to improve myself. I mean, I've read hundreds and hundreds of books. I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into my own education, my own growth, because I believe in that so much. But why is it that back in school, academically, I didn't really get much value from it? And the reason is I didn't see the benefit in it. I didn't have a reason, a purpose behind actually going to school and showing up to class and taking notes and trying to consume the information the best that I could. When I went to math class and they're teaching me algebra or some complex equation, my brain would just check out. I'd say, why am I even here? How does this have any benefit to my life in any way? Right? Or other classes that I go through, I had the same mindset. I was like, you know what, this is not going to benefit my life in any way, so I'm not motivated to learn. Versus when I was 17 years old and I wanted to change my life, and the biggest pain point that I had at that moment in my life was my confidence, my lack of confidence, my insecurities, my fears, the desire that I had to have a girlfriend in my life, but I felt powerless and helpless to be able to attract someone because I was so shy and insecure. That, when I first came across the book Double Your Dating by David D'Angelo, I had a purpose for reading it. I read that book 7 times, and I went deep and deep down that rabbit hole of trying to improve my social skills and confidence, and then every other area of my life, because I had a why for it. I had a purpose. And if you're picking up a book or trying to learn something and you're not getting much from it, you're going to school, university, but you don't have that why or that purpose, man, you're not going to get the most out of it. You just aren't. So I think it first starts by asking yourself that question. Any book that I read, anything I consume, anything I go through, I'm asking myself, Stefan, why do I want to learn this? Why is this important for me in my life? What will this give me? What's the consequence if I don't learn this? What's the pain that will come in my life, man, if I don't learn how to learn this? If I don't focus on this area of my life, or ask myself, what's my purpose for this? And, for me, about picking up a dense health book or a psychology book, which sometimes can be very challenging to read because of the language and the terminology and things that are in that, I really have to search for that why or that purpose. Otherwise, I won't stick with it, and I'll allow my brain to check out. I'm not going to do what's necessary for it. So that's my first tip for you guys, is have a purpose, have an empowering reason why you should be consuming the information in the first place. And by the way, I think that also applies to any course. I sell courses and trainings for people to build online business or improve their life. But oftentimes, a lot of people, they don't want it bad enough, right? And so you see there's some people that invest in a course and they don't make it past the first module. And it's like they had a momentary desire, like an inkling of hope or wanting to improve this or build a business. but their why and their purpose was not strong enough to pull them through week 2, week 3, week 4, and actually doing the work that's involved in building the business. And so I think a lot of that could be solved by asking yourself those questions and getting clear on what you want and why you want it, and making sure that you are committed to going through what's necessary to really learn it. Now, FAST, and I shared with you guys the FAST learning method. FAST is an acronym, F-A-S-T. The F stands for forget. Forget. So anytime you learn anything, forget what you already know about it. Just forget. Let it go. Forget your limitations, forget your limiting beliefs, forget your ego, the ego, that side of yourself that wants to use the 3 most dangerous words in the human language. What are they? I've shared this before. The 3 most dangerous words in the human language are I know that. Because the moment you say that I know that, you close off your mind from learning. And you have to be careful with that, because oftentimes it's our preconceived notions and what we think we know that prevent us from learning more. And I believe that anytime you learn, you've got to be like a kid. You know, kids are amazing learners. Why? Because they're curious. They're willing to try anything. They're willing to try anything new. They don't care what other people think of them. They don't care how they look or how they sound. It doesn't have to make sense to them either, you know, but they are like a sponge and they're always open to learning anything. And oftentimes as people get older and older and older and they develop more of these beliefs that kind of close themselves off from learning things and prevent them from being coachable. And you always have to be coachable to learn. You have to take on the beginner mindset. You know, times in my life, I'm trying to learn dance, you know, go to a dance class. And, you know, when you're first new to a dance class, it can be a little bit embarrassing, right? Because you're there and everyone else is there and there's a big mirror in front of you so everyone can see themselves as they dance, and everyone is much better than you are. And you're first trying to, you know, learn how to dance your first class, and you're self-conscious, you're messing up, you're making mistakes, and it doesn't feel good. It's uncomfortable. But a lot of people, the reason why they don't master something is they're not willing to go through that phase. They're not willing to go through what I call the suck phase, where you just suck and you got to accept the fact that you suck, go through it anyways, and then sure enough, you get better and better as you go. Same thing with learning a language. You know, I've been learning Spanish on and off a little bit, and when you first learn, you're going to try to communicate with people in Spanish, but you're going to make mistakes, you're going to mispronounce words, and you know, you're going to make a fool of yourself, and people are going to laugh and joke around, and you're going to feel left out because you can't understand certain things that they're saying. But again, as long as you're open to going through that suck phase as a beginner, then you're gonna get it. You know, you're gonna stick with it. And I can give you countless examples for anything you want to learn or improve. And that's why I think go into things with an open mind, suspend your disbelief in what you think you know. Okay, and oftentimes I deal with this with people that, you know, come to me for coaching or an online business, and the problem is for a lot of those people, they've been consuming so much information and it's all in conflict, and I have to like deprogram them. I have to help them unlearn a lot of the things they've learned out there because it starts to conflict with that. It's almost like, you know, someone that is trying to, you know, go on a diet or change their body, and they've been consuming all this information about all the different diets out there, from the paleo diet to the Atkins diet to intermittent fasting to the vegan diet and all this sort of stuff. And you know, oftentimes that actually holds them back from being able to learn, versus the person that doesn't know anything is often the one that's easiest to teach and to be able to help, because they don't have all of that other stuff already consuming their mind. Okay, so that's the F. The A is active. Okay, be active when you're learning. You see, the problem is that most people, they're passive when they learn. Most people on YouTube, when they're watching a video, they're passive. Most people, when they go to class, they're passive. They're sitting down and someone's teaching and presenting someone else something to them. And you have to be involved and active in your learning. Okay, you have to get yourself active. What that can look like is, if you're watching a video, if you're learning, if you're learning anything, guys, if you're learning anything, take notes, write down, because the actual act of writing things down improves your retention. There's a study that was done where they found that if you just sit passively in class or watching a video, 30 days from now, you're only going to retain 10 to 15% of what you've learned. But if you're actually taking notes, just the physical process of taking notes helps to connect the nerve pathways on a deeper level, and your retention goes up 30 days from now, 50 to 55%. And then if you're actually engaged emotionally, you're engaged and you're participating, you're involved, retention goes up to 85 to 90%. So listen, I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want you to waste your time. So let's be strategic. Let's be smarter about how we learn. That if we're going to learn something, let's try to capture what's most important and what you actually want to retain and implement and apply to your life, versus just being one of the few people, the many out there on YouTube that just watch things and, they're learning, but they're not really learning. They just watch video after video after video, but they're not actually remembering and retaining any of it or doing anything with it whatsoever. And this is from someone, I've got over 1,000 plus free videos I've published here on YouTube, over 32 million views. And the disappointing thing about what I've been doing is that there's a large percentage of those people that don't do anything with what I share with them, even though they have the intention to, and even though it can transform their life if they actually did apply it. So I want to make sure that you guys, again, are more strategic and smart about how you learn. So be active, take notes, guys, participate. If there's a live chat right now, if there's comments, participate with that, ask questions. Ask yourself questions as well, and actually reflect on what you're learning and question it, examine it, and create a plan about what you're going to do with it in your life. So the F is what? Forget. Okay, the A is what? Active. And by the way, I'm asking you these questions because when I ask a question, questions hook the mind. So when I ask you, hey, what is the F? The brain can't ignore a question that's being presented to it. Your brain has to come up with the answer for it. So F is forget, A is active, and by the way, hopefully you're writing this down. Okay, you're actually applying what I'm sharing with you, and you're not the kind of person that says, oh, this is nice, I'm gonna do that for the next video, I'm gonna do this sometime in the future. Again, most people, if you're in that the mañana, tomorrow, later, that's when I'm gonna do it, we both know most people aren't gonna do it. So let's actually be active right now as I'm sharing this with you so you can get benefit starting today, starting right now, and make this shift. The S, what's the S? It's state. Your emotional state gets attached to the information of what you're learning. Information with emotion becomes a long-term memory. If I were to ask you guys, do you remember where you were on 9/11, with the World Trade Centers collapsing and being destroyed? Most people can remember where they were, especially if you live in North America. You remember how you felt, you remember where you were when you saw what happened, because the emotion is attached to that memory. If I were to ask you, do you remember where you were on 10/11? Most people have no idea, not unless it was an anniversary or a birthday or some sort of significant event. And so your emotional experience is very important. A lot of people that go to school or university, what kind of state are they in? A bored state. They're not in a state of curiosity. They're not in a state of excitement that what they're learning can benefit their life and change their life, and actually being excited about it. And that is an important piece, that when you're watching YouTube videos, what's the emotional state that you're in? That when you're watching this video right now or any video out there, are you sitting there tired, exhausted, laying down, and just kind of passively allowing it to go through your one ear and out the other? Or are you actually making sure, okay, you know what? I'm going to learn something right now. I'm going to be strategic. I'm going to be smart. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be active and participate, and I'm going to take notes, but I'm also going to make sure that I'm in a positive state so that when I'm learning gets anchored and associated to it, so that I'm going to be more likely to actually remember it, but also more likely to do something with it. Okay? Very important. So learning how to change your state. I never learn anything if I'm tired. If I'm tired, I know that I'm not going to retain it. If I'm going to learn things when I'm tired, they're just things that I just know I'm not serious about that learning. But if I am going to learn something, okay, you know what? I'm going to sit down. I'm going to, change my state, change my focus, go for a walk, go for a run, do something, put on some music, whatever, to be in a great state. Man, when I'm reading books, Many of you guys might laugh at me or make fun of me when I read books, because sometimes when I read books, I'm reading and I'm speaking what I'm reading out loud in some cases with emotion and intensity, or sometimes I'm putting a big smile on my face as I'm reading, because just the physical act of smiling changes your biochemistry and your brain releases endorphins and makes you feel good. So there's many little things like that that you can do that can allow you to be in a better state. Even breathing, taking a deep breath and just allowing my body to get oxygen and feel good in that moment, because I want to associate that to my learning. Now, what's the T? What's the T? The T is to teach. Teach. Teach what you learn. Share it with someone else. I believe that it's incredibly beneficial to have a learning buddy. My learning buddy is actually Tatiana, because whenever we learn things and we read each day and we go through courses and trainings or whatever it might be, I always want to share that with her. I want to share with her what I've learned, and vice versa. She shares with me what she's learned. And then that way together, not only do we get the benefit of her sharing with me and I get to learn what she learned and she gets to learn what I learned, but also when you teach it, you learn it twice. Okay, when you teach something, you learn it twice. And anything that I consume and learn, I want to make sure that I can learn it well enough that I can teach it to someone else. That's actually one of my purposes and reasons for learning. There's many times, guys, I'm learning something, I'm reading a book or I'm going to a seminar, and I'll notice my mind kind of check out where I was like, I'm not paying as much attention right now as I should. And then part of it's like my brain's like, well, this isn't relevant to you right now, Stefan. So my brain kind of checks out on that. And again, that goes back to that reason, that purpose of why you're learning. And so that's why I'll kind of remind myself and say, you know what, even though this might not help me right now, I want to learn this. So maybe someone that I know, maybe on a video like this, or someone I'm coaching, or someone in my life, maybe they could benefit from this. And that way I have a purpose for it, but also the purpose is to teach it, to share it with someone else one day. Even though that right now might not benefit me, one day it could, either my life or someone else's. Okay? So teaching is great. That's, by the way, guys, why I love what I do. I think I have the greatest job in the world, because for me, I get to share what I learn with you guys. I get to create an article on a blog or a YouTube video and share it with you guys, and you guys hopefully benefit from it. And that's why I actually think everybody should have a blog or a YouTube channel, because you get so much benefit. If you're doing any self-development, why not get more benefit in actually retaining the information of what you're learning, and then also pass it on to share it with someone else that could benefit from it as well. But everything that I do, every video that I do, even though I create these videos publicly to serve you guys and to share it with you guys and hopefully inspire and help you, but every video I personally benefit from, because it allows me to integrate what I'm learning at a much deeper level and to live it in my life at a deeper level as well. Many of you guys know my mastery mentality that I've taught and shared before. I teach it in all my courses and programs. I share there's 3 levels of mastery. You guys remember what they are? Level 1 is what? Knowing. Knowing is where most people start and most people stop. And knowing is great, but it doesn't have value unless you're really doing and living it consistently. You can know what to do in your life, but if you're not doing what you know, it doesn't matter. So knowing is level 1. What's level 2? Doing. Okay, doing. Actually applying what you know. What a concept, right? If everyone just actually applied what they know, how much better would your life be? Where would you be today if you actually applied all the information that you've learned and consumed in your life? You'd be a lot further ahead than the person that just knows, right? The person that I already know this, it's the ego getting in the way, that they want to feel significant. And part of learning is actually feeling insignificant, feeling like you don't know. And I love being in the state when I don't know something, because I know in that moment I'm about to learn something and I get excited about that. Level 3 is what? Level 3 is living. Living is when you're doing it consistently, it becomes a part of you. And that's always my goal, to master anything that I'm trying to learn, any area of my life where I'm living what I teach consistently. I'm not just doing it once in a while, but it's a part of who I am, right? And that requires going through those previous phases. So let's wrap this up and dive into some questions. So FAST, acronym. What does the F stand for? Forget. What does the A stand for? Active. What does the S stand for? State. And what does the T stand for? Teach. I hope you guys enjoyed that. There's many more I could share with you guys inside my Life Mastery Accelerator. And by the way, guys, if you're going to invest in one of my courses or trainings, actually starting tomorrow, Thursday, we're starting our Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. It's going to go on till Monday at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the sale is 50 to 75% off all of our courses and products. I actually have a video that's going to be out tomorrow that's going to share more details for it with the link and all of that. But if you guys want to join my Life Mastery Accelerator program, where you can get more coaching from me and some of my more advanced trainings for each aspect of your life, or the online Business Mastery Accelerator program, so you can get the cutting edge strategies that I teach and utilize in my business to grow it, as well as get mentoring from me as well. You guys can get that, or Affiliate Marketing Mastery or K-Money Mastery. All of those are going to be 50 to 75% off, and you guys can learn more about that tomorrow. I'll put out a video on the YouTube channel. So just want to put that out for you guys to take advantage of it if you are thinking about investing in some courses or products of mine. With that being said, let's dive into some questions. So if you guys have any, feel free to post them here in the chat. And I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes or so diving into your questions. George says, how do you handle burnout whenever you feel it? I rest. I take time off. First and foremost, what I try to do is strategically set up rest time in my life to avoid the burnout in the first place. I try to anticipate burnout. I try to anticipate the problems and challenges that I'm going to potentially have in the future so that I can avoid and mitigate them as much as possible. So I try to set up my life where I take time off, usually for an extended period of time, as well as I have, every 3 months taken some time off as well, based on certain projects and my schedule and whatnot, taking the weekends off. But there are certain times, man, when you're an entrepreneur especially, you get super laser focused on a project, a goal, and you put everything you got into it. You're waking up early, staying up late to accomplish something. That's great to do in the short term, but long term, it's not going to be sustainable. So you got to really make sure that you take really good care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And so the rituals that I have in my life, from my morning rituals to meditation, to taking good care of my health and my body, to the biohacking that I do at Bulletproof Labs, to the supplements that I take, to the juices and the wheatgrass and the ginger shots and the turmeric and the curcumin and all the different things that I put into my body to take good care of it, and the sleep and the biohacks that I have there for optimizing my deep sleep, to PEMF technology, to the chili pad, to blue blocking glass. All these things help support my body, my mind, my spirit, so that I can push through whatever life is throwing at me. I could be at my best every single day. But the answer to your question is strategic rest time. Allow your brain and your body just to have a good rest. And I find whenever I've done that, I get re-energized. I rediscover my purpose, my passion, and I come back from a time like that, and I just refocus, and I go back into that mode where I'm living my purpose in life. Sanad says, how can I get more confident in general? There's many different things that I could share with you here, okay? Confidence is a state. And by the way, airplanes going by, we're live right now, so nothing's edited here. Just at an Airbnb right now in Venice, California. Beautiful day right now, which is nice to, I try to always make sure that I'm wherever the sun is, that's where I am. So that's why, for example, I moved away from Vancouver, because right now Vancouver's cold and raining right now. So go back to the confidence piece. Confidence is a state. It's an emotional state. We've all had moments in our lives where we've been confident, okay? You've had moments when, you've been confident, or there's areas of your life where you've been confident. It could be at work, it could be at school, it could be in a sport, it could be in a hobby. Anything that you're competent at or have skill at, oftentimes you're gonna feel that confident state. It could be tying your shoes. If I were to ask you, are you confident you can tie your shoes? Your answer would be yes. Now, you can access this state anytime that you want, because any state that you want to access, whether it's confidence, there's a certain physiology to that. So if I were to ask you, do you remember a time in your life when you felt totally confident, you felt unstoppable? How did you stand when you felt confident? How did you move? What was the expression on your face? What was that look in your eyes, right? Did you have a smile? How were you breathing? Was it full? Was it shallow? What kind of gestures did you have? How were you using your voice, right? How were you, your shoulders, where were they? Yeah, your head, where was your head when you're confident, right? And right now, if you actually did what I said and you actually made those shifts in your physiology, you would start to feel that state of confidence right now. In fact, I would say that if you're lacking confidence, there's a certain physiology, a way of using your body that you've anchored to that state. And that's one of the reasons, at least, why you're not confident. When I was shy, shyness, there's a physiology to it. Someone who's shy, oftentimes this will be exaggerated, but their eyes are looking down. Their breathing is shallow. They don't give good eye contact with people. They speak very softly. They don't really use their body that much. They're not, overly passionate and using their hand and their gestures and their voice. And, there's a certain physiology to that. And if you make those shifts and you shift that person's body, how they're using it from ways that they're currently using it to shine, you change how they're using their body as someone who's confident, it'll automatically change their state just like that. That's one element. Another element is what you focus on. Whatever you focus on, you feel. So if you're lacking confidence, you're focusing on certain things that are making you lack confidence. You're focusing on the worst case scenario. You're focusing on things not working out. You're focusing on your weaknesses. You're focusing on why you can't do something. You're focused on all the things that are giving you uncertainty. Someone who's confident, what's the focus of that person? Times in your life when you tie your shoes, when you go to school, when you perform, whatever it might be in any aspect of your life, what do you focus on then? You see it working, right? You see it working. You see the result that you want. If you're going to approach a man or woman and you want to do it in a confident way, well, if you're having anxiety, if you're nervous, it's because you're focusing on it not working out. You're focusing on and saying, oh, well, what if I approach them and they say they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or what if they're married, or what if they reject me, or what if, this or that, right? You're focusing on the worst case scenario, which is creating uncertainty, a lack of confidence. You change your focus. You focus on seeing it going well. You focus on the best possible scenario. You focus on how great you are, how confident you are, how amazing you are. All of the positive things, it will change how you feel. The third piece is language. What words and language are you using to yourself and when you communicate? Because language attach emotions too, right? If you're using certain words, oh, I can't do this, or I don't know about this or that, yeah, I can tell why you don't have a lot of confidence. Your brain, guys, is like a supercomputer, and everything that you say is like a command that you're basically, if you say I can't do this and that, you've just installed the software into your brain, into your program, that you can't do something. And that's not going to serve you. So therefore, you're going to go around believing that. Going back to the memory piece and learning, if you say to yourself, well, I'm just really bad at remembering people's names. I'm not a great learner. By you saying that, those words have a consequence that you're probably not even aware of. By saying that I'm not a good learner, I can't remember things very well, I've got bad memory, you're installing those beliefs into your brain, and therefore you're going to continue having bad memory, not remembering people's names, not being a great learner, right? Just all based on the command and the language that you're using. So change your language. Don't even allow yourself to speak anything that's not positive and won't serve you in your life. Understand the consequences of what you're saying. So what would you say to yourself if you were confident? What would you say? What kind of words and language would you use? And how would you say it? Maybe you'd say, I'm the man, or I'm the best, or I can do anything. Whatever I set my mind to, I can make it happen, right? That's why I love affirmations. Every single morning I do my affirmations. I speak out loud with intensity and emotion, things that serve and benefit my life, because I want to condition my brain to be more confident and be the best that I can be. So listen, I could go on and on about this, excuse me, but hopefully that answers the question on confidence, but there's probably 10 other things I could share with you on that. Okay, next question. Is it better to focus on mastering one thing or learning multiple things at the same time? Everyone has a different capacity of what they can learn. I'm able to, usually do a lot more than most. In terms of like, if you look at all the goals that I have each year, I do a lot. And for most people I've found, they get overwhelmed easily. And so I've been able to build myself up to a point where I've been able to take on a lot, and I actually enjoy it because it forces me to grow in a huge way. I always try to challenge myself in that way as much as I can. Not too much, but to make small increments of improvement of what my capacity is to learn and grow and take on more in my life. And that's what's allowed me at this point to do a lot. But for you, you got to choose what is realistic for you. And so for most people, what I recommend is to start off small, start with one area of your life and really focus on that, and then expand to other areas of your life. And I find that a lot of areas, they don't take much to maintain. They really don't. I mean, your health and your body, I mean, that's just changing. It doesn't really take much more time to really improve that, because all you really got to do is just improve the choices that you're already making about what you're putting into your body. Making sure that you maybe spend an hour a day to exercise and take good care of your body, add that to your ritual, then there's not much else involved or to that. Same thing with relationship. You can set it up so that you have certain rituals in your relationship, or you have your date nights or days out of the week where you go out and socialize, or with friends and family. So I've been able to find ways I can always make progress on every area of my life, but usually there's one or two areas of my life or projects or goals that I'm really focused on and putting the most of my attention into, because focus has incredible power. Let me give you guys an example of the power of focus. That right now, the energy from the sun it's great, it's powerful, right? The energy from the sun. But if I for example, take a magnifying glass and I concentrate the energy from the sun through the magnifying glass, I can burn a hole through wood. I can light a piece of paper on fire. That's the power of concentration and focus. By taking this incredible sun and focusing it by using a magnifying glass and focusing, you can achieve a lot. You can do a lot with that. So that's kind of demonstrates the power of it. Someone says, dude, how do I defeat binge eating? Man, that was something that I went through years ago and was very challenging to overcome. I did a YouTube video on that. I'm not sure if you watched that or not. It's actually one of my more popular videos. And it shares what I went through, some of the best things that benefited me. One was a book called Brain Over Binge. I highly recommend to read that book if you haven't already. And it's actually based on another book called Rational Recovery, which is actually a book for those that are struggling with addiction in their life. And if you're dealing with any addiction whatsoever, alcohol or drugs, whatever it might be, I mean, it could be an addiction to technology, it could be addiction to shopping, pornography. Rational Recovery is a good book that can help you with that. There's so much I can share with you here, but a big part of it was changing my beliefs and associations that I had to food. Because when you're binge eating, you're using food as a drug, and you're using it to meet certain needs, because every behavior has a positive intent. Every behavior that you have, no matter how destructive it might seem, it has a positive intent. And usually that's to meet a certain need. But for example, binge eating, the positive intent of that oftentimes is to give you comfort, to allow you to escape, to allow you to feel good in the moment. And you have to learn how to change those associations you have with food for meeting those needs or changing your state, and to find more empowering alternatives that are more sustainable long-term, that can allow you to meet those same needs and that positive intent, but in a more empowering way. It could be, for me, everything that I do in my life I've taught myself basically for me to fulfill all my needs by doing things like going to the gym and exercising, or creating videos or content or contribution, or my morning rituals, all things that are sustainable ways of meeting my needs that aren't destructive to me. And I don't go to food for that. I have other ways that I can feel that comfort. I can get that enjoyment. I can have that fun in my life, that variety, or whatever it might be. So, okay, let's move on to a few more questions. Great questions, guys. It's a pleasure to be able to answer them for you. If you guys are enjoying this, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up button here on YouTube. And, again, be active, don't be passive. Someone says, are you in Panama now? No, I'm in Los Angeles. Okay. Do you have any books to recommend on emotional health or the best self-help books you can think of in general? There's a good book called Feeling Good. Feeling Good. It is a great book on I think it's called like the new mood therapy or something like that as a subtitle of it, but it's a classic book, classic psychology book that I think could help you. Someone said, how old am I? I'm 32 years old. What do you think about following national health advice? I do not follow it very much. And, it's funny because I remember hearing this story about how they come up with the national health advice, and they kind of take the average diet or certain elements from the population in general. And for example, in the United States, one in two people now die from cancer, and 1 in 2 people die from heart disease, and the diabetes rates and depression, all these things are up. And so here they are taking the average of a population that's dying from cancer and heart disease and giving these as recommendations for people. So I don't follow that very much at all. If you want to follow advice when it comes to health and nutrition, find people that have the energy, the body, that you want, the health, the vitality, the radiance. Find those people and model them. Find out what they eat, find out what they do, find out their rituals, find out their exercise program, find out their diet. And if you model them, you can get similar results as them. So that's what I've been into that's allowed me to get to where I'm at today. And it's probably the best strategy out there to learn anything fast, is never to reinvent the wheel, but to find others that have what you want and model them, because you have the same neurology, the same nervous system as they do. And if you backwards engineer what they do, their mindset, their beliefs, their values, their identity, their actions, their behaviors, their strategies, you too can get similar results. That's essentially what I've done with all of the courses and programs that I have available for you guys. It's an opportunity for you to learn from me and model my mindset and my strategies so that you can get similar results than I get. And I've been doing this for 15 years to try to elicit the best strategies and model the most successful people in the world and throughout history, the best of the best when it comes to health and vitality and energy and every area of life. And that's why I've been able to compress decades into days and become a millionaire at 27 years old, to attracting the woman of my dreams, to competing in 2 different fitness competitions, to reaching millions of people and making a difference, to building schools and houses, to building a multi-million-dollar business. All of those things are because of modeling other people, because that is always the fastest way to learn, grow, and master anything. Okay, so that's probably the most important thing you guys should know when it comes to learning anything. Okay, model success. Success leaves clues. Okay, there's breadcrumbs. And today it's easier to learn and model than ever before. You just have to know how to do it. Okay, and actually learn how to learn and not just consume the information, but be strategic about it. David says, how do you change your eating habits due to family disease related to cancer or similar? My father was diagnosed with cancer. My family and I are trying to change our diet to organic food. So here's the thing. We all have genetic weaknesses, and whatever your genetic weakness is will get amplified if you don't take good care of your body. If your lifestyle's poor, because a lot of disease are lifestyle related, and if you're not having a healthy lifestyle, and acids and toxicity and all those things in the body, if your body can't eliminate them, then sure enough, if you've got a bad heart, if you've got a bad digestive system, if you've got a bad liver or kidney, whatever it might be, then it's going to amplify that process. And I believe that if you change your lifestyle and how you eat and how you take good care of your body, you can avoid and mitigate some of those genetic weaknesses that you might have, at least to the best of your ability. Organic food's great. I think that everybody should be having more plant-based foods, raw organic foods, and less cooked and processed foods. You know, there's many great diets out there that can still include meat and fish and things of that nature, but, and you know, still have balance in your life to enjoy whatever you want, but making sure the majority of what you're eating is alive and has the enzymes in it and has the water in it and the nutrients in it, and it's just not all cooked and processed so that your body has to figure out what to do with it and how to digest and assimilate it. If you were starting a YouTube channel now, would you do anything differently? Yeah, I would have put out a lot more content from the start. I would have been more strategic about the videos I was putting out. I would have gone through a course like Affiliate Marketing Mastery, which teaches what I've learned now over 6 years of publishing YouTube videos. So I could have already gotten a lot of those strategies and didn't have to figure out those things myself. I definitely could be where, you know, grown a lot faster if I had the right strategies or the right trainings in the first place. But I would have had a more of an approach of, you know, when you first starting a YouTube video, it's actually kind of easier in a lot of ways because you don't have an audience of people that are already watching your videos. And so therefore you can actually experiment a lot more. You can put out a lot of different types of videos. You could even put out 5 or 10 videos that are like the same, you're teaching the same thing. But for example, let's say on this topic of how to learn anything fast, you could put out 10 videos teaching exactly the same thing that I just taught, but have record them separately and teach the same content, but just different recordings, and then have different titles and keywords for each one. And because you're brand new to YouTube and no one's following or subscribed to you, you can get away with that and people won't know it's the same content. You're just putting out 5 or 10 different videos that you can rank for on YouTube and attract people with and see which one performs the best. I can't do that today on YouTube because every video that I put out, there's thousands of people that will watch it and consume it, and they're expecting and waiting for that next piece of content. And I have to create content now that's more based on not what I want, but I have to always take into consideration my audience, how they're going to respond to it. Will it benefit them the most? Is it something that, you know, will serve them at the best way? And sometimes when I try to create something that I think is going to be great and I want to share something that's more advanced or whatever, often it doesn't do as well because I'm not taking into consideration my audience's needs, problems, goals, and everything is more tailored towards that now, right? So I would have probably experimented a lot more and done a lot of different things. Wow, I asked people to like the video and maybe 10 or 15 people did that. I appreciate it, guys. I wish more of you that are here would actually be active, but I understand not everybody likes me. That's okay. Just joking. Okay, how long do you see the biggest growth in a new YouTube channel? I mean, I haven't had a new YouTube channel in a while, but just expect it to take months, you know, months of putting out content, being consistent. You know, at first you get it, you know, some videos get some views and some likes and some comments and you get some subscribers from that, and you're just consistent, and you have to be willing to go through that learning curve and that having that patience of just, oh, by the way, I see some more likes now. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. It's just having that patience from the start, not being attached to the results, but enjoying the process of it. I believe that's often when you get the best results. There's a saying that goes, the person who's the least attached to the result is the person that's more likely to actually get the result. It's kind of like, in a way, you know, when you're trying to attract a man or woman in your life, the person that's so attached to, I gotta have a girlfriend, I've gotta have a boyfriend, I gotta find the one. That's the person that's the least likely to attract that man or woman, because they're so attached to it, their neediness and their desperation just turns away the other person. The person that, you know, I'd like to have a great relationship, I'd like to attract the right man or woman in my life, but I don't need that. I'm happy, I'm enjoying my life regardless, I'm on purpose, I'm fulfilled already. I'm not going to that, I'm not attached to it. If it happens, if it comes into my life, great. Those are the person that is actually most likely to attract that man or woman in your life. So it's a little bit relevant to that, I guess, just kind of a way of looking at things, but you have to look at the effort that you're putting in. Everything that I do, I'm always reflecting on it. I'm always looking at how I can make it better. Why didn't that video do as well as this one? And I'm experimenting, but I'm learning from every experience, and I'm trying to make every video, every piece of content better and better and better and better. And the process of improving, it's never like this. So it's not like every video is better than the last one. It's more like this, right? And it slowly gets better as time goes on and time goes on. So as long as you're moving in that direction, then you'll get to where you want to go. Okay, guys, we'll spend about 10 more minutes. How do I stop being so needy? That's very easy. That's just whatever needs that you're trying to fulfill from other people, you got to fulfill that within yourself. You can't expect other people to fulfill your needs. That's your job. Your job and responsibility is to fulfill your own needs. So what are you trying to get from other people? What are you trying to get? Is it love? Is it connection? You can give that to yourself. You don't need to get that from other people. You can love yourself and connect with yourself every single day. You can build that relationship with yourself. You know, you can go on walks with yourself and have rituals and journal and, you know, do a lot of great things so that you can feel that sense of connection with yourself. And you can get it from nature. You can get it from your creator. You can get it from friends or family. By the way, I'm moving a little bit this way because the sun is out in my eyes. What else? What other needs are you trying to meet? Significance. You can make yourself feel significant. You can make yourself feel special, unique. There's things you can do for yourself. You can look yourself in the mirror each day and tell yourself how proud you are of yourself and how grateful you are for yourself and how much you love yourself and appreciate what you've done for yourself that day, right? You can buy yourself gifts. You can spend quality time with yourself and take yourself out, you know, on a dinner date just with you, right? A romantic dinner date just with you. You could go on a trip by yourself and enjoy that. So everything, you know, you are trying to get from someone else, give that to yourself first, because then you're in a position to give and not take. You know, you're like that glass when you're needy, an empty glass, and you're trying to fill yourself up with everyone else trying to give you compliments or love or connection, and you're actually now a taker. And if you're a taker, people don't want to be around you. That's why you're repelling people in your life. But if you're fill yourself up, you fill up that glass and you're overflowing, now you don't need to get anything from anyone. Now you have something to give. You're overflowing with abundance and love, and now those are the kind of people that people are attracted to. So it's a different perspective for you. Someone says affiliate marketing or open a digital marketing agency. Let me just actually move this for a sec here, guys. Sorry. Depends on what your goals are, what your vision is. I mean, an agency is a lot of work. You need to have a team to do that, and you actually have to build a business. And oftentimes when you have a lot of overhead because you have to have a team, you know, it can be a challenging business to build, but also to scale and remove yourself from. I like affiliate marketing because it's more scalable. You don't have to provide a service or create the products. You're just promoting other people's products that can benefit them. And you can make it more passive. You can build as a passive income stream. I mean, I have so many sources of affiliate income, like probably over 100 plus sources of affiliate income that I get in every month or so. And 80% of them are passive. Like, I don't have to do anything for it. It's based on work that I've done in the past. And so it's one of the best business models out there, I believe. I think every business should have some sort of affiliate marketing model in it because of just the power of it and the leverage and the ease of doing that compared to other things. Because otherwise it's a lot of work to create products. You know, every product that I've created takes me months to be able to create, and there's a risk factor of it, and affiliate marketing helps you to mitigate that risk. Someone says, can you give us 10 examples of affirmations you can say every day? I've got videos on this already on YouTube, so just for time's sake, because I only got a few more minutes here, go to Project Life Master on YouTube, search affirmations. I've got videos, I got blog posts that have lists of all the different affirmations, or at least some of them that I do. Okay, George says, is it important to start doing something new and figuring out stuff on the way than planning a lot before action? A little bit of both. You know, I'm more of a fan of the mindset of ready, fire, aim than ready, aim, fire. Because I see a lot of people, they're just waiting and they're just aiming. They're waiting for everything to be perfect. They have to have it perfectly locked in on the target before they fire. And that person, most cases that I've seen are the ones that just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait, and they don't do anything. And the person I see that just starts firing and then they start aiming as they go and learning and adapting and adjusting as they go, those are the ones that always get further ahead. I'm kind of known, for me, whenever I have ideas, I like to put it into action right away. I like to do something to move it forward, because I know that if I don't, then I just leave it in my mind or on my list. Time goes by and I'm going to forget about it. I'm not going to feel that same excitement about it. And so I always try to make sure that whenever I have any type of spark or inspiration or idea, do something right away to at least start the process. Because once you start something, there's a part of us that feels this need to finish it. Have you ever found that in your life? Once you start something, there's a need like, now that I've started this, I just don't feel complete until I finish it. And so I found that has been useful for me in my life, to start things. And for me at least, I always want to be a finisher in what I do. I don't want to just have all these open loops in my life. And so I find that having things open at least motivates me to do it and finish it off, versus if I don't even open it in the first place and start it, then I'm a lot less likely to. If you could keep one part of your daily routine, what would it be? Ooh, that's a challenging question. Man, that is really tough. I would probably, if I had to pick, it'd be gratitude. It'd be gratitude. That's the most important thing. And if you think about it, if you're not already grateful for what you have in your life, then there's no point in attracting or achieving more, because once you achieve more, you're also not going to be grateful for that either. It starts with first being grateful for everything in your life. No matter what your life looks like, there's something to be grateful for. You're alive. You've been given this gift. There's plenty of things around you to focus on that can make you feel good, that can make you feel amazing. It can bring you to tears if you really focus on it and how it makes you feel. And, for me, I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful for all of you, each and every one of you, even though we haven't met. I'm grateful for and appreciative for you being here today and giving me your time, your attention, by being a subscriber to my channel, consuming my content. Means a lot to me. But I'm grateful for this technology that we have, that I can communicate in this way. The internet, the cell phone, computers, and all incredible things, and the resources and the things out there that I've been able to benefit from that have made me who I am today. Man, there's just so much that I could share. But gratitude, I think, is one of the most important things, that if you just have that in your life, even if you don't achieve or make much money or have success or, health or energy or anything else out there, quality of your life is your emotions that you consistently feel. And it's not your lifestyle, it's not your car, it's not your house, it's not your partner in life. It's the emotions you're consistently feeling in your life. You could have nothing in your life, but be grateful, and because you're grateful, you're rich. And I know people that are billionaires, have all the money, the cars, the houses, the success, and they're miserable. They're not happy. And it's because they're not grateful and appreciating their life and enjoying it. So gratitude is really the most important thing that I think we all need more of. All right, my friends, I know there's more questions coming in. I would love to answer them all for you, but unfortunately I have to get going. But listen, it's an honor, it's a privilege to serve you guys today. Hope you guys are having a great week. Hope some of you will take me up on my offer, my 50 to 75% off sale this Black Friday and Cyber Monday, which is coming up tomorrow. And yes, happy Thanksgiving. Now that I'm in the United States right now, that's Thanksgiving that I have to also, that's funny how it kind of slipped my mind, but the whole message of gratitude is so aligned with that right now. And it's a good opportunity for you guys to take this Thanksgiving, if you're in the United States at least, to really think about what you're grateful for and appreciate the people in your life, and tap into that a lot more too. So listen, thank you guys again so much. The Black Friday Cyber Monday sale is going to be live tomorrow. We'll have a video here on YouTube. Keep an eye out for that. It's going to expire on Monday, Cyber Monday at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Another thing too on that note, so not only the discount on my courses and products, but actually a lot of the other courses out there, or even products that that I've shared with you guys before in the past, I reached out to all of them to see what kind of Black Friday or Cyber Monday sale they have. And I've also included them for you guys on this page as well. So that's another thing that I want to share with you guys as well. So anyways, guys, have an amazing rest of your day, amazing rest of your week. Happy Thanksgiving. Love you guys. Talk to you again soon. Take care.